Hey guys, I'm ZSH Plays. Welcome back to Tekton Zoo. Today we're going to have a very unusual episode. Settle down, it'll be good. We're going to be jumping all over the zoo, including loads of places we haven't seen for absolutely ages, in order to make a load of improvements with the new conservation pack, and even look at some of the stuff from update 10.1, which is definitely the most exciting minor update that Frontier have released. We're going to be starting here at the Sculpture Garden. If you cast your minds way back to when we built the Cheetah Conservation Centre, I put this in to serve as a bridge between the Grand Plaza and the rest of the zoo. And I really like how it looks, but it basically doesn't serve any function other than looking nice. And I'm going to use one of the new info kiosks that you can actually put in without the shop shell around it from the new update. And put this in here so that guests can get access to the audio guides and things like that, which is going to increase the education in the zoo, and also lets them buy things and adopt animals, which is going to get us more money. So not enough money is one of the perennial problems of Tekton Zoo. I'm always trying to balance getting the zoo as big as it is now, whilst having the guests limited as much as possible, so we get a nice frame rate for these videos. And it just gets harder and harder the bigger the zoo gets. It is so hard to stop the zoo from going bankrupt. I think I'm up to 3,500 guests now. Pretty sure there should be about 7,000 or 8,000 if I didn't have it limited. I'm too scared to turn that off. But we definitely need as much money as possible, and these information centres are a really good way of doing that. And now that we don't have to have a big old shop around it, we can get a really effective one in here. So the guests outside the Cheetah Conservation Centre can come here and spend their money, basically. And there we go, more money coming into the zoo, which is desperately needed. I love how these little shop stands, you can just sort of put them anywhere you like, cover them up with a bit of plaster or whatever material you're using in their zoo, and they sort of fit into the area without dominating it like the shops. Now next up, we're going behind that to the Cheetah Conservation Centre itself. We're going to add some of the brand new education items into the zoo, because the education rating in this zoo is not as high as I would like it. I really like these items. I normally sort of stray away from using the in-game items, but you can't really replicate something like this yourself, the way it's animated, etc. So these are really cool, and these give an education boost to the whole group when a kid uses them. So we've got the Paw Prints one there, and then I've put the Gorilla one in the Gorilla Project. This is really cheesy, but it is exactly the sort of thing that you see in zoos. Now we're going to return to one of my favourite builds in the zoo, the Staff Pod. We built this way back in episode 2 for the main staff building for the Grand Plaza, and we've copied it all the way around the zoo. And I built it with a little greenhouse in the side, which I really like the idea of, but we had pretty much no pieces that would allow you to build that then, so it's pretty sparse. So with the conservation pack having all sorts of gardening pieces in it, I thought this would be the perfect time to give it a serious facelift. So the little hose that I buried into the wall is going to be replaced by one of the new hose pieces. And then we're going to put a load of the vegetables, the cabbages and tomatoes and things like that in here, so it really feels like it is actually somewhere where the zoo is growing food for the animals and plants for the displays and flower beds and things like that. And yeah, I just love the fact that I can come back and massively improve this without having to build a load of custom stuff that wouldn't have looked that good anyway. So get a load of tools in. These hooks are fast becoming one of my favourite pieces, up there with the bracket from the Europe pack. Obviously we'll theme all of the tools and stuff to the Tecton colours. Get a little punnet in there, a bucket, and then obviously a watering can, because these things aren't going to grow otherwise being inside a greenhouse. And oh my god, it's so good to have a realistic wheelbarrow in the game. That weird, enormous wheelbarrow in the base game, I don't know what they were thinking when they made that, but it is so good to have one that's actually vaguely realistic now, which is cool. We'll sort out this flooring here. These are the slats from the new conservation pack, which I'm using a lot since that came out. We'll just tidy that up, and then we'll put in some of the tomato plants, which I really like. Sort out the colour scheme in here, and there we go. The greenhouse actually looks like a greenhouse. I'm really happy with this. It's been a long time coming. And now onto the biggest change that we're going to be making to the zoo, which is in the Forest Café. We're going to be adding everyone's favourite amphibian, the axolotl, in here. So I'm still really happy with how this build looks, but as you can see, it is not exactly busy these days. When I first built it, the forest was pretty much the whole of the zoo, and this place was rammed all the time, but now nobody goes there, which I think is contributing to my guests complaining about not having enough food or drink. So in order to get people in here, I'm going to put an animal in. So we're going to remove one of the little shop shells and add the axolotl. So I want this to be really subtle rather than a big sort of in-your-face exhibit or anything like this. I want it to sit into this row of counters where people get the food and drink from, and just have, like I say, a really subtle exhibit for the axolotl, an animal that everyone likes. It took me a while to sort these pieces out here. I couldn't even remember how I'd built this, it was so long ago. But these are one of the, I think it's the New World fence, which I remember being, now I look at it, pretty proud of it at the time, that I'd used a fence piece to make some wood paneling. It was a simpler time back then, and I'd forgotten how I'd got it to work, but I eventually worked it out. We're going to make some adjustments to the pieces here, and then get one of the exhibit education boards in, so that people know that what they're looking at. We'll do some custom graphics for this in a second, as always. I'm going to adjust the walls and things like that to make sure that the new backdrop for the axolotl habitat, which I really like, is obviously based on the tropical map. I think this is the first time that there's been an animal with a sort of tropical background. And this sign I love. Again, very rarely use the in-game signs, but when there is a good one, I will use it. And this guy's really cute, and I like how the sign, I think there's two of them actually, but this sign is your sort of classic pet shop axolotl with the albino colouring, and then in the actual habitat we've got the natural brown coloured axolotls. So good opportunity for education there in terms of you know, what an axolotl normally actually looks like in the wild, and obviously how endangered they are at the moment. We're going to make a few adjustments to the wall as well, just to get the sign in exactly the right place. And then we're going to add one of the new flower pots that was designed by one of the players, with a little axolotl on it, which is perfect for this build. This is such a cute little design. So I've swapped the plant that was here before with that, and there we go. And it is absolutely amazing to see people actually using the Forest Café again, because I was really proud of that build, and it was sad that it was empty. And these guys, I mean, they are so cute. Probably one of the best exhibit animals in the game already. And yeah, looking very nice in the evening sun there. Very happy with that. The last thing that we're going to do is take a look at some of the improvements in update 10.1. It depends what animals you have in your zoo, whether you've noticed it or not, but the Siamangs are now swinging around very happily, and even better, the Capuchins have gone absolutely crazy for climbing. I have never seen this many Capuchins up in the trees in the Capuchin Tower before. I think 3 was my record, and normally it was 2 on a good day. So to have, I mean, what we've got here, like 5 of them running around, it just brings it to life. And that is the episode. Thank you so much for watching. In the next episode, we're going to be building something much bigger that I've been planning since day 1 of Tekton Zoo. I am so excited to build it. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.